What is going on, guys? Today is January 7th, our very first show of the brand new year 2023. I hope everybody had a great holidays. I know I did, and I am glad to start 2023 with you guys. A couple things have happened between the last time we had met, and this show is gonna kind of go all over the place today. It could possibly go longer. I don't know. We don't set timetables around here. Um, we don't have a set schedule. My producer is right here. You're looking at him. There's nobody in my ear telling me when to shut up, except for you guys, in the comments most of the time. But that's a story for a different day. Obviously, LSU whooped up on some Purdue Boilermaker behind on January 2nd, which was Monday. That game, it was just an all around great performance from LSU. Understandably, like, I'm not gonna sit here and parade and brag about that kind of stuff because it was Purdue. It was Purdue without all their best players. But it was pretty impressive to see what that offense did, scoring 63 points. The defense being able to handle their own against a wounded Purdue team. That was just an all around impressive, very stress free day, January 2nd. Shout out to Tulane for upsetting USC. That Louisiana State pride. Showing out there in Arlington, Texas, getting USC. You know, us LSU fans aren't the biggest fans of Lincoln Riley. For whatever reason. You guys can make an opinion about that if you guys want. The biggest thing, a recap, kind of like we started doing this thing on TikTok. This is kind of be like a longer version of that. It's going to be our weekly recap. Today's Saturday. Obviously, there's still more events to go on. LSU basketball plays today. LSU women's basketball plays tomorrow. With that being said, a lot of things have already happened. Obviously, the football game on Monday, you get the blowout win, and then Tuesday, LSU hoops drops a heartbreaker at Rupp Arena. I really thought they played so well the entire game. They ended up getting down 10 points in the second half. Were able to fight back and get within one. And then you have a guy from Kentucky who can shoot, double clutch a three. Double pump a three. Kid can't hit a three to save his life, and he knocks one down, makes it a 4-point game, and then it kind of was just out of reach, with the how basketball works, where it's just fouling and stuff like that when they went up four. But LSU definitely fought to the very end, and it was just a very impressive showing that team could have easily been down 10 points and just spiraled out of control, and they could have got blown out, but instead they battled back, and against a solid Kentucky team on the road, that was very impressive. And then obviously on Thursday night, the women's basketball game, LSU absolutely dominated that game. It was just a complete performance. Kim Mulkey has got them girls playing so good right now, sitting at undefeated, the number 7 team in the country. I know everybody's anticipating that LSU and South Carolina game here in a couple weeks. Hopefully LSU can continue to make progress and get better going into that game, because that's going to be a huge matchup in the SEC this year. And then we also had some obvious transfer portal news. That stuff doesn't go away. We don't believe in off seasons over here, at LSU Recruiting HQ, because it's always, recruiting season. It's always transfer portal, something, spring practice, summer work, whatever it is, man. We're always rolling, always talking about football. There's, if you're a diehard like me, there's no such thing as an off season. You're always locked into what's going on. And what is going on is Demario Tolan has entered the transfer portal. Now, you guys might remember, or you've heard on Thousand, the people that say I regurgitate information, y'all might have heard it on multiple platforms at this point. But Brian Kelly talked so highly of Demario Tolan. So when this announcement happened, it was just such a complete shock to everybody. How could a kid that was getting praised by the coach, that basically the coach said that he was the next guy in line and that he was going to be a huge impact player for LSU this season, or this upcoming season. So everybody was kind of just scratching their heads, wondering what was going on, wondering if it was like disciplinary issues or what was going on. Um, I don't know all the full details, but a lot of people have said that it is just the best move for the kid. So you never know. Maybe he has something going on with his family. He is from Georgia, so like if he moves in that area of the country closer to home, maybe something could be going on with that. I don't want to speculate. I don't want to give you misinformation, because we don't break news around here. We just talk about it after it happens. Um, but yeah, that's kind of the way I'm leaning. Is maybe something happened at home, and he decided he wanted to be closer to family, and just LSU wasn't that a good place for him to be at. And I wish him all the luck, man. Those kind of kids, you never hear nothing bad about them. So we, uh, as a person, I wish him nothing but best. Obviously, as an LSU fan, it really sucks to lose a player of that caliber, but wish him nothing but the best wherever he lands at, and hopefully everything goes well for him and his family. Um, Now, the transfer portal on the other end of things, LSU had a huge weekend this weekend, with official visits, stuff going on with that. It's been just a crazy. I mean, this stuff is so hard to keep track of. Um, you obviously have the big defensive lineman, Justin Rogers from Kentucky, who was on his official visit on Thursday, I believe, and then now he's leaving. He's going to Miami on his official visit there. But that is a guy who is highly sought after, one of the best, most highly ranked players in the transfer portal, was a top 50 prospect coming out of high school, a position of need for LSU and a lot of other teams, obviously with double-digit offers on the first day he entered the transfer portal. So that is a guy to keep an eye out for, but that's not an end-all, be-all. You have a guy from South Carolina like Jordan Birch, who LSU was a finalist for in his initial recruiting. That could be a possible candidate. Obviously, they're trying to fill in this defensive line, and create a little bit more depth, because your 1 through 4 is going to be pretty solid next year with Makai Wingo, Mason Smith. Those guys on the interior are going to be pretty good. I think Savion Jones is really going to come around and step into that like Ali Gay role. Really, you're just trying to get that BJ Ojolari, and you have that Deshaun Warmack coming in. So maybe he fills in that role, but you'd like to have a little bit more depth at that role, and that's the position that Jordan Birch plays, is kind of that buck position, outside linebacker, pass rushing specialist type thing. But like I said, we don't know for sure. The offensive lineman, I believe as of right now, that we've been hearing about from Cincinnati, that was really close with Mike Denbrock, the center. I believe he just committed to Wisconsin to play for his old coach. Don't quote me on that, but I'm almost positive I saw that this morning on Twitter. And then you have all the news about Anthony Bradford, offensive lineman, declaring for the draft. Wish him nothing but the best, man. He's been a great LSU Tiger. Stayed all 4 years, did his thing through all this COVID stuff. He's just been a wonderful player for LSU, kind of like that plug and play guy. Never been like he's been a starter obviously, but he's never been like the all SEC type player. But he is just fill whatever role he's been asked of, and that translates to the NFL, because if you can show those guys that you can play multiple positions on the offensive line, you can be a rotation plug and play guy in the NFL and make a long living career off of that, because there's always a need for guys like that and stuff like that. So let's steer away a little bit from the football stuff, and we're going to talk about some baseball, man. I'm so excited. Baseball season is only a month away, a little more than a month, or so. I believe opening day was like the 18th of February. So we're right around the corner, man. And like, y'all, if you've been living under a rock or if you're a diehard like me, you know, uh, this baseball team, the expectations for this baseball team are absolutely through the roof. Through the roof. I mean, you go in, you sign the number one recruiting class, you sign the number one kids out the transfer portal. You have like, what is it, 4 guys in the top 50 MLB draft prospects. Like, I mean, you are throwing some guys out there, some real dudes, like dudes that ain't even gonna play that much, that could go play for any university and be like the guy, you know? It is just, I mean, you look up and down this roster, and I mean, how many, like, y'all remember the good old days, right? When you could just book your Omaha ticket before the season, and you know, and stuff like that. I would like to know how many people have already done that this season. LSU came in at number one on the Perfect Game Baseball and Baseball America preseason rankings this season. Those just got announced this week, and then also Dylan Cruz got announced as the Perfect Game preseason Player of the Year. Um, and yeah, that kid. I mean, that kid could not take another swing in college and be the number one pick in the MLB draft this upcoming, summer. That is an unbelievable talent, and so grateful that that man stepped foot on LSU's campus. It's just a absolute blessing. But this lineup in general is just crazy. I mean, you got. I mean, I don't know the exact starting lineup, right? But you know, you get Dylan Cruz, you get Dugas, Trey Morgan, you get Tommy Tanks, Jordan Thompson's back. I mean, this lineup is just unreal. The kid from Air Force transferring in, a little Shohei Ohtani action with the hitting and pitching. You know, throwing 100, hitting tanks in fall ball. I'm super excited for LSU baseball, and I know it's basketball season, and I'm excited about that too, man. I don't discriminate on my LSU sports, but man, I'm telling you, I have a soft spot for baseball because that's the sport I grew up playing. That's the sport I grew up loving, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited that they're coming to South Carolina this year. I'm so excited that they get to play Tennessee at home. I will be there for that one. I can assure you of that. That is going to be an electric series, and I'm already looking forward to it. I'm just super excited, man. As you can tell, LSU baseball is going to be something serious to watch this year, and it's going to be a wild time this spring coming on with LSU basketball probably making a tournament push. LSU women's basketball, you know, they have Final Four aspirations, at least Elite Eight stuff. You know, they're sitting at undefeated right now in the country, so who knows how far that program can go in the next couple months. And so that springtime, man, that thing's gonna be jam packed this year. You're gonna be worrying about Mac McMahon taking his Tigers to the tournament, because I wasn't sold that they were even gonna make the NCAA tournament. But the way they've been playing lately, I'm sold that they can make this NCAA tournament. If they can get to, like, you know, 9 to 10 wins in the SEC, you know, that's a tournament resume to me. You go undefeated or have one loss in the non-conference, kind of like a fluky loss at that, and then, you know, you do that in conference play, and you're almost locked into that tournament nowadays with how good the SEC is at basketball. But yeah, man, that's it for today, guys. Man, your LSU weekly recap, a little bit more in-depth recap. I'm gonna start doing now that it's the so-called off season, which we don't believe in around here, so we're not gonna say that word from here on out. We're gonna start doing this every week, breaking down every sport. It's almost gonna be like your version of LSU Sports Center. You know, we might even throw in there some top plays of the week or something, and get that rolling, because I think that'd be a pretty cool idea. I just gotta learn how to edit and do cool stuff like that. But yeah, man, thank you guys for watching so much. If you haven't already, and if you're even still watching, I mean, this is 15 minutes long. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching, and I will obviously see you next time. And if you're not already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like us on YouTube. Help us with the algorithm. Help us reach the main audience out there. Get us some new subscribers out here so we can keep making this content for free for you guys, and we can keep sharing our stuff on social media and keep growing the LSU recruiting brand. And like I said, man, thank you guys for watching. Y'all have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you guys next time.